Welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Dan, the editor here, replacing Mark and Jamie because I'm a coffee aficionado and these guys don't drink it, so I'm here to review the Ninja Luxe Cafe. Now, this beautiful machine is a 3-in-1 machine. It does a lot of things. So primarily, it's an espresso machine. It does brewed coffees, and what excites me more about this is that it does cold brewed coffees. So this is a bit of a Swiss Army knife of machines. If you look over here on the right-hand side, it has storage compartments. We have our spring-loaded tamper. We have a funnel that you'll see me use later on. Over here, come over here, Jamie. We have a nice storage compartment so you can hide your accessories. We have our portafilter, and we have a nice little shelf here that you can modify depending on what kind of drink you're doing. So this would be too much, like here, like such. If you're doing a brewed coffee in a big to-go mug, you can basically remove this right there and place your mug under there. So another feature of this machine is that it does steamed milk right here with this device. And what's interesting about this is that it can do non-dairy milk, such as oat milks or almond milks, which is pretty unique, especially in this price range. I think last time I checked, this is retailing for $5.99 USD. Prices might change depending on when you're buying this. Going back to the frothing device, so you can see here in the cup, there's a little whisk in the middle, and when you steam your milk, it activates it, so it spins the milk, which helps it froth. All right, so my plan for today is to run this machine through its paces. We're gonna do 4 tests. We're gonna start off with an espresso, a cappuccino, a brewed coffee, and lastly, we're gonna do a delicious caramel latte, but cold brewed. Stay with us, let's get into it. First up, let's do an espresso. All right, first off, I just wanna clarify, it's an espresso, not an expresso, all right? So if you're gonna be a barista, you gotta have the right terminology. So part of having an espresso machine is purchasing some good quality beans. That makes all the difference. I suggest you go to your local coffee shop and you ask them, what do you use for your espresso machines? So I have a bean here that I like. And by the way, I've been doing espresso machines or espressos at home for roughly about 15 years. So I'm coming at this machine from a bit of an experience. Again, I think the target audience for this machine is an aspiring barista. What's complicated with espressos initially with a regular espresso machine is dialing in the grind size, the amount of water that goes through it. That's the difficult part. So the machine has built-in technology that will basically make recommendations based on the different types of beans you use. So all beans are different. They have different oil content. Some are more roasted, they're drier. So that will affect your espresso. And so the machine is able to analyze that and basically make recommendations in terms of your grind size, or I'm sure the amount of heat or water that's pulled through the shot. All right, we've got our beans. We have our bean hopper right here. Let's just take a look at it right there. So you're able to remove it, and here you can tell there's a grinder right here. This is a conical grinder right there. You can take a look at that, Jamie. And you can take it apart and you can clean it, so that's a really good feature. These grinders get gummed up over time and they collect old coffee dust. So you want to clean them. If you want to pull a good espresso shot, you want to clean those here and there. And right here on the side compartment, you have a little brush that you can go in, brush it, and once in a while you can buy special tablets that you can put in your hopper right here and run a cycle through, and that basically cleans all the old bean residue. Here we have our hopper. We're gonna fill it up with some fresh beans. All right, like this. We're gonna lock it in place, put our lid on top. All right, first step in pulling an espresso shot is taking your portafilter right here. And on the side, we have our funnel, like so. We put it on top, lock it into place, and we put it right here. We took our portafilter, we push it all the way to the back. You can tell that it's ready to grind. So just a quick note in terms of the features of this machine. This right here is a scale. So it'll grind a certain amount of beans into the portafilter. Again, most machines in this, or no machines in this price range have this feature. This is usually a feature that you'll find in $2,000 machines. So again, a really great feature to have at a low cost, essentially. So, all right, so we have our portafilter in here. We're ready to grind our beans. Again, it's suggesting a grind size of 15. We're at 20. Let's see what it does and what it suggests we do. So, right here, we're gonna start the grind. There we go. I always like to put a small dishcloth there. All right, coming to the side, I'm grabbing my tamper. This thing is spring loaded, so it basically helps you guide you through how much pressure to put onto the grinds. So what I like to do is put it on there, give it a quick twist. We want to get a nice smooth surface, and then you tamp it all the way like that. Then we remove the funnel like this, and so you have a nicely tamped puck of espresso beans grinds. All right, we're putting it right here. Lock it into place. So the next step here, we're going to choose our coffee type, espresso. We're going to go right here to espresso. So again, see, if I turn the wheel, I can cycle through all the different types of coffees. Let's just take a look. Espresso, a quad. So that's like a massive espresso if you're really tired, I guess. Cold press, so this is an espresso, but instead of pumping hot water through it, it's pumping cold water for a nice kind of summertime drink. Classic, I mean that's I think for a brewed coffee. Rich, really strong flavored one. Over ice, cold brewed again. And a cold brew, which is probably a drip coffee, but with cold water. All right, so let's go back to espresso right here. We're ready to go. Let's press the start brew and take a look.
Are we going to be following the sound right now? Or?
Just taking a quick look at the espresso and how it poured, I can tell that the grind size was probably too big. So you can tell the machine right here is suggesting that we go to a grind size of 13, which is a smaller grind. All right, we started off at 20. So there we go. Let's remove the puck. All right, in between shots, I always like to give it a quick rinse and have beans fly all over the place. Sorry, Mark. I'm not sure where those came from. All right, so let's adjust our coffee grind size with the wheel on the side right there. So you can tell we're going down to 13 is what it recommends. So we're at 13 right there. We're going to take our funnel, put it back on our portafilter. All right, so it's telling me that it's in the right spot. And we're ready to grind. All right, we're done. Give it a quick tap like that. Take your tamper, turn it around. You want to get a nice smooth surface and press down once like that. And start our brew. So right off the bat here, I can tell that this is a way better espresso shot just by the way it's flowing out, kind of nice and even and a little bit creamy. All right, so to me, that's perfect. See, you can tell right off the bat. Let's give it a quick taste test. So this is our first one. Tastes a little bit bitter. It's not bad, but it tastes a little bit bitter. And here we go. wow, a lot smoother. It's well balanced. So this took maybe 2 or 3 tries to get it dialed in. Again, when I first started with my espresso machine at home, it took maybe, like I had a whole bag of beans and I think I went through it before I got to the right spot. This machine basically lets you hit the ground running and making great espresso drinks. So quick little tip, after each time I draw an espresso, you basically want to clean your portafilter. So that's just not a matter of removing the old coffee grinds in there. Once you remove the coffee puck inside, you're left with some residue. So you want to remove that as well from your next shot. You don't want to incorporate that into your next coffee. Otherwise, it'll just make it bitter and give it a more maybe acidic taste. So what I do is basically I'll leave it empty and I'll just run an empty shot through it like such. All right. There we go, so it'll keep draining. And normally you'd want to set up one of these machines close to your sink for this kind of purpose. Empty that, shake it off. Give it a quick rinse. All right, so I have my portafilter here. I just rinsed it off. Take a rag, dry it off, and then it's ready. So in terms of the messiness of these machines, they're quite messy. And as you can tell, there's grinds right there. As well, there's extra water that goes into this reservoir here. And you have a little plunger here that'll kind of lift as it gets full. It's quite easy to clean, so you can remove this thing here in this tray. And it's magnetized in the back, so you just need to give it a quick pull right here. So right there, that's your drip tray, so to speak. So you can remove that. See, all your coffee grinds are collected right there. You have your plunger that lets you know the water level. And it has a little pour spout right there. And just to show you how to do it, you want to come and follow me, Jamie? We'll go to the sink together. And again, normally this is close to your sink. You would probably want to set this up right there so you don't need to carry it across the kitchen. Like that, you can leave it into place. Put this back here. With that, we've done our espressos. I've shown you how to clean the portafilter right there. Next drink up, let's make a cappuccino. So it's an espresso-based drink with frothed milk. All right, here we go. Let's make a cappuccino. Boom, we have our portafilter. We've got our funnel on there. We've dialed in our grind size already. Oh, it's telling us 10, but you know what? 13 was perfect, so we'll leave it at 13. Push it all the way to the end. It's in the right spot right there, and grind away. Let's pull our shot. It's on espresso. So the machine's telling us to add water. So just another feature right here, we have our water container, and it has a nice little ergonomic handle here. So we'll remove the lid. We're gonna put some fresh water into this. You can also add a filter at the bottom if you have just well water or such at home, or bad city water. Here we go, we've got our water basket filled with water. All right, we've got our espresso portable filter with our espresso in there, ready to rock. All right, it's on espresso. Let's pull our shot. All right, we have our espresso shot here, and then we're going to put our milk in the milk jug here. And again, I just want to point out it has a nice little whisk in the middle, and this is activated here with a magnet. It makes the milk go around, which helps it basically infuse it with micro bubbles. All right, so as you can tell, there's some fill marks here on the cup, and those are also inside the milk jug, which is a nice feature to have as you're filling it. Since we're doing cappuccino, we're going to go with the minimum, which is we're just adding a little bit of milk right here. And another thing I want to point out, this does also non-dairy milk, so like oat milks, almond milks, and such like that. So that's a really good feature. on here. So for this, we're using regular dairy. So we set it on dairy, so you see milk type, plant-based, dairy. All right, we have our steam wand. We're putting it there. And we want to start the froth. So we've chosen our espresso setting right there. All right, that's the chime letting us know that our steam milk is done. All right, first thing you do is you take your wet rag and you wipe the wand off. Otherwise, the milk will dry on there and it's a pain in the butt to remove. Go like this. We're gonna purge it right there with the, oh, it's doing it on its own. Here you can tell, see, right there, purges automatically. And you can also, there's a button if you want to purge it again. There we go, I think it just did it, so. See right there, so you can clean it again. And there's a little hole that it goes into, so it goes right into our catch basin right there. This is our steamed milk, all right? So it's nice and frothy. So what I like to do is just give it a quick swirl, tamp it like that, and that just makes the big bubbles rise to the top, so you basically have an evenly textured milk. All right, we have our espresso shot, and here we go. This is the magic shot. All right, I'm not big on latte art there, but this looks like a messed up heart. That's as good as I, you know, if you turn it upside down, then it looks like something else. I won't say what. All right, so let's give it the old taste test, see how it is. Delicious. All right, next up, we're making a drip coffee. And to start with, right here we have our double basket in the portafilter. You need to change that to right here, the quad basket. Off camera, before we started shooting, I did a test and I tried to do a drip coffee with this basket on, and the machine recognizes it once you put it in here, and it will not let you choose the other kinds of drip coffee. So just quick note to you, don't make the same mistake I did. All right, so we're gonna switch it out. So we're just gonna pull it out here. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to do so. Again, right there, we have it in place. We're gonna put our funnel on top. Right there. Now we're going to select the type of coffee, classic. It's telling us that we want it to grind at a size of 23. We're already there. And grind away. All right, we have our beans right there. For this one, we don't need to tamp it. It's just a loose grind. Come on, Jamie, come and check in the middle. See, you can see it move. Right there. So there we have it, our brewed coffee. Just a side note, obviously you could tell that it's pretty full. See right there, you have our size selector, so you can go from a 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 ounce. So make sure you choose the right size or you'll end up having a coffee that's quite filled to the brim right there. But again, let's give it a taste test to see how it tastes. That is delicious. Again, a successful cup of brewed coffee made with our Ninja Luxe Cafe. As you can see, we just brewed a small cup of brewed coffee, but again, most mornings, you know, you're going to work, you want a nice, you know, gallon of coffee. So what you do is you remove this part right there, slide your big old mug right under, you know, select, you know, if it's gonna be a long day, you want 18 ounces. Kind of caffeinated throughout the day. So next one up is a iced coffee with cold foam and some caramel drizzled on top. We're going to put our funnel on top. Again, we chose cold brew. It'll let us know what grind size to put it at. 23, we're already on the mark. All right, and let's grind away. Put it into place. Got a cup full of ice right there. So it's on cold brew, and let's start brewing. Some of these coffees take a little bit more time. Right here you have an indicator light letting you know how far into the process you are, so that's a really good thing with this machine. Otherwise, one might think that the machine's not doing its job or whatnot, but everything's going as it should. Our ice brew is done, so I time-lapsed this because this was painfully long, roughly about 10 minutes, right, Mark?
Yeah.
All right, so, if you want an ice brew, just just be patient. So if this is something you enjoy, it takes time, but hopefully it's delicious. So, all right, so we've got our cold brew on ice, ready to go. So let's try out the non-dairy option for a cold frothed milk or milk substitute. So again, we're gonna choose our option right there. We're gonna go plant-based. All right, this is oat milk. We're gonna quick shake. Make a whole bit of a mess. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna select our option right there. So you see you have 4 frothing options. So right there at the end, if you go to look at the icon, there's a little snowflake right next to it. So that means we're doing a cold froth. There we go. We heard the magic ninja chime telling us the froth is done. All right, give it a quick shake around, tamp it. All right, I like to add a little bit of caramel on top of the cold brew itself so that it fuses throughout the drink. Let's add this on top. Oh, look at that. Look at that, kind of looks like a Guinness. And let's add some caramel on top. Oh, look at that, even dripping on the side. Let's give it a taste test.
So good.
That is delicious. Seriously, it was worth the 10 minutes waiting time. But anyways, really good. So my overall impressions after using this machine for this video is that I'm really impressed. It's well built. It does many types of coffees. I mean, I have an espresso machine that costs roughly the same thing, and it doesn't even do half of what it does. And in terms of build quality, I'm really impressed. It feels sturdy, it feels good, it looks good. I mean, this thing on the countertop, it's definitely a showpiece, in my opinion. All right, so let's measure this thing just to let you know how big it is. All right, so height-wise, 15 inches. All right, 15 inches high. Width, we're 12 inches. And 12 inches, basically a square foot. It's big, but it's not the biggest compared to other machines on the market, so it's fairly well sized. For most people, this will fit under the counter right here, under this lip right there, so that works out well for most people. Let's get into the scoring matrix. We're gonna go through price point, functionality, versatility, cleaning, storage, and quality, and then we're gonna give it the overall average kitchen score. So price point on this machine, we paid $677 tax in Canadian dollars. So this retails in USD for $5.99. So in my opinion, this provides a lot of value for its price. It is expensive. I mean, it's a lot of money, but compared to other espresso machines, it is not. We gave it 9.2 for price point, which is a really good score. All right, next up is functionality. Again, I'm amazed by this machine because it really guides you through the process of pulling a really good espresso shot. Again, it'll tell you, is your grind size too big or too small? It'll let you know where to set it at. Same thing right there. At a certain point, it told me to clean the portafilter. Again, I wouldn't have thought about that on my own. So this machine has a lot of functionality. I mean, just by the storage of all the different pieces that you need to use on the side, well hidden, but easy access. Like same thing again with the steaming one. You steam your milk, you're done, you put it there automatically, it'll purge itself. All things you have to do on your own. Like with my espresso machine, that I paid the same price roughly, I have to think about doing these things. This machine will prompt you to do these things. So in my opinion, this has a lot of functionality again. So for functionality, we gave it an 8.7, which is a really good score. Versatility, I mean, give me a break. This machine does it all. I mean, espresso-based drinks, brew coffee, and then we're talking about cold-based coffee beverages. I mean, other than doing the dishes for you and passing the vacuum, what else does this machine do? So again, that gets a high score of 9.1. Now let's get to cleaning. So I think I mentioned it during the video that espresso machines, by nature, are dirty machines. You'll always find grinds at the bottom. There's the catch basin, which will collect water and such. So it was fairly easy to clean. You just need to remove the catch basin, clean it as well. The machine has a lot of self-cleaning functions. Like if you wanted to descale the machine after a certain amount of time, you put a special device inside the portafilter, put a little tablet, and then it goes through a self-cleaning cycle. The basket right here, if you remove the basket, you're able to access the grinder, and again, you're able to clean that. They provide you with a nice little brush right there. Again, and this brush has a little needle. So if this ever gets clogged, again, you can just put the needle in there and unclog it. This machine helps you keep it clean. We gave this a 8.2, which is a reasonable score. All right, let's talk about size. I mean, this machine has a decent footprint, but considering what it does, it's quite reasonable. It fits under the cabinets, which is a great feature. And yeah, so that's pretty good. So for that, we gave size an 8.5. Right, going to storage. I think like I mentioned previously, it has all these little compartments where you can store all the different accessories. So things are easily accessible, but out of sight, which is a great option. So for storage, we gave it a 9.3. And quality, again, as with every other Ninja products, the quality is top notch. It feels good, it has good weight, it looks nice, it feels nice, and it feels sturdy. So for that, we gave it an 8.9. And that gives us an overall average kitchen score of 8.8, which is an amazing score. I think probably one of our top scores out there. So at the end of the day, would I recommend you purchase this? Definitely. I mean, this is a value-packed machine that does so much. Like if you like coffee, it's a no-brainer. It is expensive, but if you're that kind of person that goes to Starbucks and gets a latte every other day or even, a few times a week, this machine pays for itself within a year. That's our video. Hopefully you liked it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and you know what? We want to hear from you. Comment down below. Is this a machine that perhaps you consider buying? All right, see you in the next one.